Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, welcome to my presentation about comparison between PHP, coordinator, and Laravel as project JS assignment. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Ismi Sopiyanti from Group 1 for SJ6. I will explain the main points that I will convey. First, what is Laravel, coordinator, and native PHP? General framework of Laravel and coordinator. Comparison between coordinator and native from system and user. Comparison between coordinator and Laravel about speed, page size, and type. What is PHP native? PHP native is a web programming language combination based on PHP programming language which can be inserted by JavaScript, text, CSS, Bootstrap, and others. PHP is popular general-purpose scripting language that is especially suited to web development. What is coordinator? Coordinator is a powerful PHP framework with a very small footprint. Coordinator is a PHP framework that uses the Model View Controller or MVC system. So in general, there are three main components, namely model, view, and controller. Layer model to business, view to view that can be inserted HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and controller to connect model and view. I will explain about the advantages of coordinator. Why coordinator is used? First framework with a small footprint. Coordinator 3 has 2 MB download, including the user guide. Coordinator 4 is 1.2 MB download plus 6 MB for the user guide. Two simple solutions offer complexity. Coordinator encourages MVC but does not force into new. 3. Clear documentation. Coordinator consistently outperforms most of its competitors. 4. Exceptional performance. Coordinator consistently outperforms most of its competitors. 5. Strong security. We take security seriously with built-in protection against CRRP, CSRP, and XSS attack. Version 4 adds context-sensitive escaping and CSP. 6. Nearly zero configuration. Much of the coordinated configuration is done by convention. For instance, putting models in a models folder, there are still a number of configuration options available. Throw script in the config folder. What is Laravel? Laravel is a web application framework with expressive, elegant syntax. Laravel is a PHP framework that uses the model view control MVC system, same as coordinator. So in general, there are three main components, namely model, view, and controller. I will explain about the advantages of Laravel. Laravel have a server management and site deployment service, namely Laravel Forge. Laravel has much of extension or package that we can use when making website. Using Laravel, the example is Vapor. Vapor is a handle server. Then Horizon to monitoring view. Lumen to Lumen Palette, and Dax to testing and automation browser, and others, and much more. Then general structure of coordinator. First, index PHP. This default page with typing web address. 2. Controller. This examines HTTP request to determine the reality of the request. 3. View. The view is rendered and sent to the browser for viewing. If there is a caching definition, it will be cached and then sent to the browser. 4. File caching. Cache files are sent directly to the browser bypassing execution on normal system. 5. MVP. Examines HTTP request to determine the reality of the request. Security. security before calling an application controller. HTTP requests sent from users will be filtered first as well as data. General framework of Laravel. First, apps.php. This is special directory to store all HTTP requests and response files. 2. Database migration. This is contains files that are generated to make changes to the database, such as adding tables, column, deleting column, and other update comment. 3. Database or seed. Contains files that are generated to make changes to the database, such as adding tables, column, deleting column, and other update commands. Some as database migration. Public directory. This application resources that can be accessed via a browser such as image, JavaScript, and CSS. 5. Test service serve to save the test file and run through PHP unit. And then the last is resources. Resources, it has subdirectories, namely assets, lang, and view, which are used to compile files, define multi-language application, and store all HTML file templates. Comparison between native and CodeEditor. First, performance response time comparison is done by comparing which framework is faster in terms of response on the system. After the test results are displayed, it can be concluded that the response time from the coding framework is faster than with an average response time speed of 0.45 seconds. 34 site 34x.com. Request per second. Request per second, or RS, is the measure of scalability that characterizes the throughput handled by a system. From the result of the comparison, it can be concluded that the cognitor system can make more requests at the same time, so that in the test cognitor is superior than PHP native throughput. This comparison is done by comparing which framework is faster in terms of speed on the system. After comparison, it's obtained that by using the CodeEditor framework, the throughput obtained from the server is faster than the throughput of or network access obtained by the system from PHP native. So that the results show that the system comparison CodeEditor throughput framework is superior to PHP native with an access time of 0.36 seconds with 256 kbps network, while PHP native, when using 256 kbps, can be accessed with a time of 0.45 seconds. CRUD and database connection. In terms of database connection, native and CodeEditor have the same speed. While CRUD is the same, it's just that there is more code complexity in using CodeEditor. Then request per second, or RPS, is measure of scalability that characterizes the throughput handled by a system. From the result of the comparison, it can be concluded that the CodeEditor system can make more requests at the same time. So in this test, CodeEditor is superior than PHP native. In terms of performance, 65% from the result of the performance questionnaire, it was found that 65% of users like application with the framework, and 35 didn't like application met with PHP. Information and control. From the result of the information and control questionnaire, it was found that 60 of users varied like application with the framework, and 40% didn't like application met with PHP. From the result of the efficiency questionnaire, it was found that 80 of users like application met with framework, and 20 didn't like applications met with PHP. From the result of the questionnaire service, it was found that 70 of users like application met with the framework and 30% didn't like application met with application. I want to explain a comparison between coordinator vs Laravel. Before explain, I want to explain about page size, time, and speed. Page size is a measure of the size of the page that must be loaded, while time is the time it takes to display a text page in a web browser, or also known as a request to the server until the request is served by the server. While speed is the speed to display a web page. Based on the picture above, we can conclude that coordinator has a large value in the speed column. Then, but for the Laravel, Laravel have high value in type. It can be admitted that coordinator overall is most superior because the difference between the two, speed and time, is greater, but at the time the difference is only 3 seconds, then the speed as on the table, we can conclude that coordinator more efficient, more liked by the user, and then the speed is high. The speed is greater than Laravel for the same page. And then I will tell you the summary of my test. The Technical framework is better than PHP native in terms of performance and is more recommended for use by users. Coding using coordinator is more organized in folder for each submenu that will be coding. Native PHP is simpler in system coding. This can be recommended to advanced programmers and not for teamwork because some variables only programmers will make a system, so not suitable when used for teamwork. Coordinator has a greater average time and speed than Laravel on the average time value. Coordinator has a greater duration of time than Laravel with a difference of 4.2 minute per millisecond meter per, and on the average speed value, coordinator is still superior with a difference of 40.08 kilobytes per second from Laravel. So the winner is coordinator. Is a bibliography, and then thank you for watching.